Texas Metal Show. I'm your host, John fucking Winningham, and on this episode we talk to Houston's own Thundertank. It's been a great couple of weeks for the Texas Metal Show. We recently released Texas Metal Radio 6, Female Domination, where Elizabeth kind of took over. We did all female leads, and if you didn't listen to that episode, you're missing out. She mixed the music differently, and I think it turned out fucking phenomenal. Yesterday, we got to hang out at Brash Brewing with some of our friends with the Dirty Seeds, Mr. Plow, Funeral Horse. Venomous Maximus did play that show, but I was on 5 hours of sleep, and Elizabeth somehow managed to get extremely sunburned, and we had to go home. So, Venomous Maximus, we're sorry we didn't stick around. This is the very first episode of the Texas Metal Show with the brand new sound equipment. Elizabeth has assured me that it sounds fucking amazing. So on this episode, we talk to Hell Crusher and Phosphorus of Thundertank. We talk about how our kids have reacted to our music. We talk a little bit about overproduction in metal altogether. If you're a Thundertank fan, you know that they kind of are on the backside of production value, and that's one thing that I think makes them fucking great. During this interview, the owner of the practice space they rent was at the practice space blaring like ridiculously loud music. If I remember, there was like some hip hop and some like prog rock and some like shit rock, and you'll hear a little bit of it in the episode. There's pretty much nothing we can do. Pretty sure we even laugh about it. So sit down and fucking enjoy. It is my pleasure to introduce Hell Crusher.
Yes, hello.
And Phosphorus.
What's going on?
We are talking to Thundertank today. Now, I was made aware of you guys, honestly, it was through Hell Crusher. We met at the Black Vice show at the House of Creeps.
Yep.
You were like, oh yeah, dude, I play guitar in this band, and I'm always constantly like writing shit down. I have not had the chance to see you guys live, but I do have a copy of Heaven Is for Pussies, which you can get at thundertank.bandcamp.com. Is that the...
Well, we sold
sold out.
Yeah, we sold the last one on Friday.
Oh shit! But digital. You can still get a digital copy.
You can download it for like $2. I think.
Yeah, and it's totally fucking worth it if you guys haven't listened to it. So, why don't you guys give me like a breakdown of a history of the band, how you guys got together, why you play the music you do?
I had just got back into town, and I joined this band Cop Warmth, which is playing music with friends that I've known since I was 10, 11 years old. And Shane had just started playing drums with them 6 months before, and I started being vocals, and I showed up, and he was there, and I told him that I had some riffs. I knew he was a drummer, so we were gonna wait for everybody else to get to practice. And I showed him a few songs, and one of the first songs we played was this Implements of Hell, which is inspired by Albert Fish and the tools that he used to, like fuck people up or whatever. But we just ran through those riffs, and I found out he liked metal the way that I did, so we went from there.
And how does that? How do you guys like your metal?
It's cool, man. I don't know. I think we just take all our favorite parts from the music that we have in common, and we just like stitch it up the way that we fucking like it. And we definitely want to appeal to that that crowd, that cult crowd, the like hardcore, old school '80s thrashers and early black metal people that are into like Bathory and all that shit. But at the same time, we put like weird stoner breakdowns. And,
yes, there's at least one that I was listening to on Heaven Is for Pussies, and I'm not trying to, I don't know what the word would be, but like, I just thought Black Sabbath. Like, I'm not trying to like downplay
and we all
your guys'
fucking love Black Sabbath.
Yeah, right, and
that is my favorite band for sure.
That's like one of the first for me, Black Sabbath and Metallica. That's how my heavy metal beginnings came.
Yeah, Metallica for me too.
This is my father, who also listened to a lot of country and like Madonna. Weird, dude.
Fuck yeah.
Just a straight... my dad will listen to some like hardcore death metal that he doesn't know and be like, oh, that was great. And then at the next second, he's like Conway Twitty, like fucking Marty Robbins. Yeah, dude, it's real weird. I would wake up on Saturdays and the CMT channel would just be blaring terrible
not
pop.
That 90s
it's
twangy
like pop country.
Shit. I hate
just
that
like
shit.
fucking terrible fucking country. So, back to Thundertank. I don't want this episode to just devolve into us dissing terrible styles of music, which it easily could be, because fuck country music. Not all of it, though. Marty Robbins is pretty fucking
Hank
badass.
Williams,
Yeah,
Senior.
you have your standouts for
Everyone
sure. A lot of
loves
that older
Johnny Cash,
shit.
of course.
When country music meant something and like told a story.
Dude, fucking Hank Senior. That was my boy.
So what bands in common do you guys have that you guys take influence from?
I mean, he said Black Sabbath, and I think everybody in the band like really respects Black Sabbath. I don't know, Black Sabbath, Judas Priest, Dark Throne. Like, it's all like different shit, but I think that's what makes it come out kind of weird, because everybody comes from different musical kind of backgrounds. Everybody appreciates different shit. Like, it's not that we all just listen to heavy metal all the time. We listen to whatever.
Right. You have to pull like.
Yeah.
You have your metal influences, and then you have your non-metal influences. And like, I listen to like 97% metal, but there's a lot of shit that influences what I like Dead Kennedys, The Misfits, and like Faith No More and that kind of stuff. That would,
We all
I mean,
listen to the Misfits too.
Right.
His punk band was like heavily influenced by Misfits.
And you
Freddie
guys
Gunnery and the Guns.
certainly have a punk sound
Well, we all
to
came
an
from
extent.
punk bands.
Yeah.
This is our first metal band.
Okay. It's
So,
good.
Yeah.
I love the like do-it-yourself raw recording. I mean, I don't know how much production you guys put into Heaven Is for Pussies, because what did you guys do, a studio, or just like get like a 4-track and like, hey, let's.
It's like actually like right around the block from here, but we went to this dude John Patrick, and he played with bands like was it White Crime?
Yeah, White Crime, and he had done stuff for Craig's other band, No Way, so they had kind of had a relationship already, and he had recorded Cop Warmth, so it was easy. We would just go to his practice space. It's just basically a practice space a little bit bigger than this one.
Which, for all of you who can't see, because we're on a podcast, is just a big open room with a bunch of shit on the walls.
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy shit.
Yeah, this room's been occupied for like 5 years.
you
We kind of
think
inherited it.
All the other rooms look like this? I think this is the only
Some
one.
of them are really nice, man.
Yeah.
Some of them are way shittier than this too. It just
They don't have all this fucking bullshit on.
But yeah, man, we just went in. We all only had a couple hours. Like, dude still had to go to work or whatever. We met at like 10 a.m. in the morning, loaded all our shit up there. He set mics around everybody, and we just played it live. And if it took like 2 or 3 tracks, or 2 or 3 times, whatever. So we recorded all the songs, came back and did some overdubs for lead guitar and vocals, and came back one more time because I wanted to fuck with some of the sounds, like make that floor tom like really pronounced right there, or turn that guitar up, just a little mixing stuff.
So
But
even with how rough it is, and don't mean that offensively, because what we talked about before we set up the podcast, overproduction and that can do to music.
It's definitely not professional. We paid the dude $100. It was
fucking
like,
off, but
recorded it in 6 hours or something.
Did you want that sound? Was that something you did because this is what we can afford, or were you purposely looking for that really raw edge?
Honestly, it was like probably a mix of the two, because it was the first guy that dude John Patrick is the first guy I've ever paid to record me, because when I was growing up, we'd fucking throw a microphone over a ceiling fan and put a sock on it
and go to
record it
town.
In one track, and that's how we did it.
That's how you fucking do it.
We used to record my old punk shit just put my laptop in the middle of the room and press record.
Yeah, it's like the thing is I know that the thing is that people would say, man, Heaven Is for Pussy sounds kind of gritty. But in comparison to Unholy Black Sorcery, the first demo, it sounds a lot better.
Even though I can get digital, I have not heard it. I think I listened to 1 or 2 tracks from it.
I mean, it's cool, but it's really
I forget that Bandcamp, you can if you have multiple albums and you're on Heaven Is for Pussy's page, you have to click the music button to go to another page with more albums.
Yeah.
And I always surprise myself.
Well, the
these guys have
mobile
more
view is
music.
weird, dude. I don't like the mobile view. If you scroll down, you can click on view or view
Desktop,
whatever.
which is what I do.
Yeah,
on
and
the
then it just
computer.
has the albums on the right. The format that way is way better. I do not like the mobile the outlay layout, whatever.
Yeah. I've not used it because I don't stream because I'm cheap and I don't pay for very much data. And then when you're dumb and you go over your data, you're like, oh well, your bill's twice as much, and you're like, well, fuck me. I wanted to get stoned, but now it's not gonna fucking happen.
Luckily, everywhere I'm usually at has Wi-Fi. This place has Wi-Fi. My job has Wi-Fi. We have Wi-Fi at the house. So I just turn my data off. I don't pay for very much, but
yeah, I don't pay for.
It's there when I need
it.
it.
Fucking ridiculous. So, you guys seem to be. I follow you guys on Facebook because I want to see your shows. I want to come to your shows. You guys play shows pretty frequently. What do you guys do for for work? How are you balancing like going to paying the bills to fucking drinking beer and playing fucking thrashy good shit all night?
I mean, yeah, we try to like play like once a month, sometimes twice a month, like because you don't want to overkill. Like, why would you see a band on Monday when you can see them on Tuesday, and why would you see them on Tuesday if you can see them on Wednesday?
That makes sense.
And you don't want to, whatever. But
you guys are out. You are out there doing shit.
As far as work, yeah, like I'm like a construction worker, do like a lot of carpentry and shit like that.
Yeah.
So.
We all just were recently in the food industry. He just started doing construction.
Yeah, I did that. I did that.
But we all basically work in restaurants. I work at Moon Tower in the kitchen. Craig just got a job at the Rainbow Lodge.
Yeah, some bar downtown. It's King Shit, the lead guitar player.
Yeah, King Shit. He didn't want to come. Well, actually, I don't know why he's not here. I didn't ask.
I don't even know. And then Monkey, the bass player, he works at D&T. It's like basically like Moon Tower. It's like a bar food place.
Okay.
And I don't know. It's
sometimes the service industry can really be helpful when it comes to like doing things later in the evening.
For sure.
Yeah,
I worked a lot of service industry.
Definitely a more flexible schedule.
Yeah.
So mine's because like mine's
you can request
rigid.
certain nights off and stuff.
Yeah.
Like if I have a show Saturday, I just tell my boss the week before, like, hey man, can I have Saturday off? Yeah, sure.
So when you're not working, you guys aren't practicing. How often do you guys practice? Is it like a regular everyday thing?
We try to do it once a week for sure.
Once a week. What do you guys do on your off time? I mean, I know I've seen you all out at shows, so you're obviously part of the scene in more than just playing music. You're paying to go see your buddies' bands or other bands that you think are good. So when you're not involved in music and you're not involved in work, what do you guys like to do?
I kind of like spend a lot of my time just working, but other than that, just like kind of, I guess, do the family shit, I have 2 kids, so.
Okay, yeah, I've got one myself.
So just family shit and just try to, like keep the fucking chops up and stuff. Go home, play guitar a little bit, maybe read, smoke some weed, watch some conspiracy theory shit,
That's oh man, you can always go down. So how old are your kids?
One is she just turned 6. The other one's about to turn 3.
Yeah, my son is about to turn 6. Are they little metalheads? Like, do you let them listen to a lot of metal?
Dude, they actually like it. She'll put up the horns and stuff.
They really
Cool.
get into it. And,
he bought her a little drum set.
I was actually listening to. It was like, man, it was super cute, man. I walked into the living room and I had an extreme noise terror, playing real high, dude. And I walked in and they were just like fucking running around, but like it was weird. Like with the 2-year-old with a stuffed Elmo. Like just running around. They were getting it. And I was.
They were feeling the vibe.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of cool because they say, they don't call it metal. They're like, hey, they're like, hey, Dad,
listen to
loud
stuff,
the music.
Right?
They're like, can we listen to music that you like? Let's listen to your music.
Like, I've tried. My ex-wife and I, we haven't been together in almost 4 years, and so I mean, I have my kid, and I'm really involved. I see my kid all the time. My ex-wife and I are in a great relationship. Blah blah blah. So she listens to pop music. Fucking what's that shitty fucking band that always with the fucking banjo and everyone loves them? What? Boom digga 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 doom digga digga digga. It's the fucking banjo riff in every one of their songs. It's like 5 dudes on stage.
Fuck.
God, I can't. Someone's listening to this going, you shouting the name, but we can't hear them. So we have way different musical tastes, and sometimes my kid will be like, "Hey, Dad, can you turn off King Diamond?" And I'm like, "What is wrong with you?" It's like, you want me to not listen to fucking Merciful Fate, and it makes me sad. But we have found some common ground. Are you guys familiar with baby metal?
Oh my god!
Wait, that's the
dude.
Japanese chicks, right?
Yeah, it's like
tiny girls,
three Japanese girls, and it's like a mix of Japanese Idol, which is a very popular type of pop music,
J-pop or whatever.
A lot of really, really, really strange. Like there's like death metal and thrash and it's real weird, the mix. And the problem with baby metal is like your initial response, was like, oh man. And see, I thought that too when I first heard the album, and then I've been trying this new thing. Especially with the Texas Metal Show, where I just try, there's John, and then there's John fucking Winningham, and John fucking Winningham is a bit more open-minded than regular John, because I do a show.
Yeah.
Here's the same 3 black metal bands over and over again. No one's gonna listen to that shit.
Yeah.
And it grew on me. I really enjoyed their first album, and it took me a little bit, but most people either don't care anything about them or never heard of them, hate them, or love them.
I don't know, man. You got to be open-minded. I'm totally down with the idea of being open-minded.
I just think it's, as far as in respect to baby metal, just how they blended, because there's like the Idol shit, which is real poppy J-pop shit, and then they have like some real weird like rap, very small rappy sections, very small, and then they have like death metal and thrash metal, dude. And it's but the funny thing is they're talking English. When they do the one rap section, they are actually speaking English.
Yeah,
and it makes me laugh every time. And so they're counting 1 2 1 2 1 2 3, and they say, "Are you ready for more? Are you ready for more?" And it's super rap, and then it's just like goes into this death metal breakdown, and the dude just starts screaming, and it's such a weird transition for music to go from like poppy rap to this really heavy dark shit with this dude screaming in the background, and that sucked me in. Like I was like, what the hell is happening?
Yeah, it's just like all over the place. So.
Yeah, it's really fucking weird. And now there's a new one out. I think he calls himself Lady Baby.
Oh my god!
And it's a big like. I don't know. I think he's European descent. I think he might be Norwegian or Swedish, and he's fucking big, and he has a huge beard, and he's a fucking Norwegian Swedish metal dude, like you would see any of them. And he dresses up in like a schoolgirl outfit, and he puts his hair in dual pigtails.
He's fucking blowing it, man. God.
And it's weird. And it's some of the shit is super heavy, but it's still that mix of Idol.
That's crazy.
Japan's fucking weird as shit, dude.
Yeah, it is.
Oddly enough,
I want to go really bad, but
they produce some.
I want to check out those vending machines.
Great like sludge, and then like Boris, and I think Coffins.
Hey, fuck, man. Hey, fucking Gizm, dude.
Dude, they have a lot of badass metal and punk in Japan.
Yeah, Japan really fucking really kills it, and then really throws you some weird fucking curveballs.
The hardcore punk scene there's been fucking.
Final Bloodbath.
God, man, since the 80s, they've just been
it's a Final Bloodbath for Future EP. Check that out. That shit's fucking cool.
Yeah, man. Write that down so we can check it out when we get to the house. All right, so you guys have a new demo coming out. Yeah. It's called Let Us Thrash in the Darkness of Hell, which is a fantastic fucking name for a demo. I can't wait to hear it. The first song that we're going to listen to today on the show is called Faster Than the Speed of Darkness.
Yes, sir.
Give me a little bit of information about that song. What's that song about? How
you came up with that title. That wasn't me.
Well, okay, so just I don't know, man. Like I wanted to write a song that was about metal and like a fast metal song.
Yeah, I remember that conversation now.
I guess the concept is it's so fast that it's like tears you apart. Like your ears pop, your skull crushes, it rips the skin off you. It's so fast. And they always say faster than the speed of light, but we're all into the more satanic imagery, anti-religious imagery.
We all love the devil, and we all hate Jesus. I think we can agree on that.
Oh, Jesus.
Amen.
Jesus, I never heard of her.
Well, historically, I don't think Jesus existed. But anyway.
I'd agree with you.
So here is Faster Than the Speed of Darkness.
Take you to flame.
in an interview with Thundertank. If you're returning with us, we are talking to Thundertank. This isn't radio. I don't need to tell everybody that. I listened to a podcast called What the Fuck with Mark Maron, and he talks to, like, he's a comedian, and he talks to just comedians and fucking, he did an episode with Dave Grohl that was really fucking good. And I'm not a big...
Maron, is that the dude who has his own show, Maron?
Yeah. He has a show on, like, Comedy
I've seen
Central or something.
Episodes of that, yeah.
And he was talking about how, like, he comes from radio. Other than comedy, he did a lot of, like, political radio.
Cool.
Real hardcore lefty political radio shit. And he talks about how, like, the old-time radio DJs, fucking podcasters, they don't ever return to the show and fucking reintroduce everyone. And he's like, well, why would they? Like, they're choosing to listen to the fucking show. And I always think about that when we do these transitions.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess you can just go backwards and forwards.
Radio's dying.
Radio sucks,
I mean,
man.
it does. You know, except for if you're listening, we have like...
I don't want to fucking listen to Journey or Aerosmith anymore.
Over and over
like,
and over
God
and over and
damn
over and
it,
over and
dude.
over again, yeah. And see, that goes back to
play a fucking Sabbath song besides Paranoid.
Seriously.
Come on.
But that goes back to what we were talking about earlier before we were recording with, like, the old rock and roll and how I was like, it sucks and I hate it, which I don't really mean that, but I've listened to fucking Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin and Rush, the same shit, over and over again my entire life.
Yeah.
And for me, now when I hear it, I'm like, I don't give a shit anymore.
Well, see, my whole thing is like, you know, Zeppelin, like, definitely, like, I fucking love that band, but I'm not talking about, like, Kashmir. It's like Traveling Riverside Blues or,
Right.
like,
Not
the BBC sessions.
not the stuff they're playing every day on the fucking
like,
radio.
you know, like,
I don't wanna hear
like
Days
like
Confused
like
anymore.
like Stairway to
nobody
Heaven.
does.
Like
I
Stairway
could
to
go
Heaven,
the rest of my life
cool
without
song,
hearing
but I mean, how many fucking times has
Can you
everyone
hear
on
that?
earth heard that song?
Right.
Unless I'm fucking flying on acid, I will skip to the next radio station.
Oh, acid just fucking, honestly, dude, scares the shit out of me.
Really?
Never taken hallucinogenic drugs a day in my life.
Oh, man.
Eaten a lot of ecstasy, snorted and smoked my fair share of both crack and cocaine.
Right on.
And smoke a lot of weed. Not any. This has all been
Hell yeah.
some years ago, anyway.
Dad's
oh,
here.
Shit. Somebody came in the room. Who
Holy
is
fuck.
It's
That is
King Shit.
King
Lead
Shit,
guitar.
welcome to the Texas Metal Show, man. Joining us, we're here with Thundertank, and King Shit just walked through the room. But we don't really have a proper setup where we're at for him to get on the microphone, so you won't hear anything from him. But
doesn't
he's
wanna
here
talk to
in
you guys.
spirit, and he's looking at me, and he's like pointing at me and giving me kissy faces. So it's going to be a good evening.
Right on.
Oh, and if you can hear it, there is some dance music going on in the background from the guy who owns the building. That's not us purposely doing it.
Is that like the Scissor Sisters or something?
I have no fucking idea, but if you can hear it, that's not us. We are not jamming that. It's just what we have to deal
kinda
with.
weird.
Cool
dance
name, I ain't
music.
gonna lie.
So,
Scissor Sisters?
tell me about y'all's writing process. How do you guys sit down and write a song together? Does one person do a majority of the work and give it to everyone else to critique and change, or do you guys equally really take part in that?
It usually starts out like I'll write the riff for the song and usually have like what I want to call it and shit like that. But there's been numerous times where Lord Relic but Daniel, he's the bass player. He's written riffs. Craig or King Shit, he's come in and throw this cool riff and I'll learn it and find a way to kind of piece it into one of the songs that I've already written. And we all kind of work together, but usually as far as the skeleton coming, I'll come with a riff and, maybe tell Shane, like, we'll go fast here, we'll go slow here. And sometimes I might say that we'll play it fast and he plays it slow and it sounds way cooler, but it's like, I'll usually come up with the riffs.
So it's it's a collab, but for the most part,
yeah, but
good collaboration of everybody's
these,
ideas are listened to and that kind. How much do you change, Phosphorus?
Yeah, well, I mean, Jack definitely writes the majority of the music, and sometimes the riff comes first, and he'll come to practice like, hey, I got this new song. Sometimes we just start with an idea. Like, a lot of times I'll be at work or doing some bullshit, and I'll think of a title, like...
So your idea, god damn it, you're right. Sorry, I hit the mic, guys. I'm a shitty podcaster. When you say idea, you mean like conceptually, like like we came up with a title like "Fuck Jesus in the Ass," and this song is about like raping nuns, and then you kind of like build on that. How would that sound? How would that be?
Yeah,
That's just purely hypothetical.
Well, look, like fortunately, like everybody has a really good like chemistry with everybody, and everybody kind of respects
we've
each
been
other
playing together for a
ideas
while,
and
so
stuff.
Okay.
It's super easy for us to get each other's ideas.
But then again, I only met Phosphorus like 3 or 4 years ago, just being in the band. But as far as the other guys in the band, we've known each other since we picked up a fucking guitar. So it's a very tight, like you know what I mean? Like it's just cool.
Oh yeah, no, I completely understand.
Like, we're not one of those bands that doesn't like know each other. And
you were like, hey man, we need a drummer. Why don't
like we grew up with each other since we were kids?
Right.
And it's cool. I mean, that's the general way we write songs, but sometimes it comes out of nowhere. Like on the first tape, Catacombs of Genosha, weren't you just like playing an X-Men video game or something, and you were like, "Oh shit,
yeah,
that's
no,
kind
I
of
was
a cool title." And
yeah, I
then
was
you wrote a song.
Yeah,
I was playing the last stage of the Deadpool game, and on my Xbox is called the Catacombs of Genosha. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with it, but
the island that Magneto hung out on.
yeah.
I'm familiar with
all the
X-Men
fucking
canon.
mutants, but
Right.
it was like Catacombs of Genosha, and I was playing that stage, and I was like, man, that's a fucking cool ass song title. So just try to tweak it where it's still heavy and dark as shit, but
But it's about X-Men.
but yeah, it's
which is great.
X-Men.
So
Yeah.
so all right, so now that we've breached the nerdy subject of comic books, like I'm a big nerd. Like Friday night I spent with my friends playing Dungeons and Dragons, and these are some of the people I've been playing fucking Dungeons and Dragons with since we were 14, 15 in a garage.
Yeah.
So like are you guys nerdy dudes? Like what's the nerdiest shit you guys do?
Monkey and Jack are the nerdiest ones.
Yeah,
I guess.
because like I don't know, yeah, they're not really into that stuff, but I can't give that shit up. Like I love like professional wrestling and
Oh yeah,
and
dude, me
comic
too.
books and
I just never got into comic books.
and
I don't know why.
cartoons and stuff like that. But I mean, it's like for instance, like Catacombs of Genosha. It's not about the mutants on the island
It just
or whatever,
inspired
but it's
this
just like
idea.
that's
Okay.
but that's where the idea came from.
And sometimes it comes from movies. I remember I was watching Dracula, the one with fucking Winona Ryder, who sucks ass in that movie. But yeah, like
Fuck you, Winona Ryder. If you're listening to this, you fucking
Fuck you.
suck.
There's just this part where they're talking about like she is the bitch of the devil, she is damned for eternity or whatever, and that's where we got Wander in the Outer Darkness, because that's one of the things he said. And I was like, fuck, that sounds pretty goddamn cool. And I remember texting Jack, it's like, dude, Wander in the Outer Darkness. And he wrote this riff, and it sounded like dark, vampiric, fucking slow, evil, and then it gets fast, and it was sometimes like ideas come from all over the place, which is
Is that on the first demo?
that is coming out on the third one.
So this is a newer song.
Yeah,
that's
we've been
not
playing it
released yet.
live for a while. It wasn't quite ready when we recorded for Heaven is for Pussies, though.
No,
So we're just gonna wait.
It always kind of seems like we'll have a like it's we'll already have like a set of 6 or 7 songs by the time we get the last demo out, but it's all about like money. It's like the last demo came out, but we've already written new shit.
What do we have? 6, 7
But
new songs ready to go.
I do
after
the
this
same
demo
thing
comes
though.
out.
Like
Yeah, so it's-
as we're recording this episode, we have 4 other episodes, 2 of which are already recorded and 2 are in the works, ready to go, just to keep up to know. Okay, we have a safe. We don't go a couple of weeks without doing anything.
Yeah.
Because much like Thundertank, the Texas Metal Show, if I don't work on it, nothing fucking happens because it's just me and her.
Yeah.
So how long have you guys been together as a band, as Thundertank?
2013, right? About 3
Yeah,
years.
it was the summer of 2013.
But
So,
y'all's
yeah.
relationships go fucking way,
Yeah.
way
Well, I
fucking
mean, it's like I don't know. It's like a phosphorus. That's weird, right? Calling you that, but yeah, but it's like I mean, I've only known him for 3 or 4 years, but he's we're all like we're all pretty cool with each other. It's like a family, man.
I've known Craig for a little bit longer. I just remember being a fan of Cop Warmth, and I saw their post one day that they needed a drummer. I was like, fuck yeah, I want to come try. Like, that sounds fun as hell. And they liked me.
Did you have to audition?
Yeah.
How did that go?
I drove to Francisco's with 2 bottles of Steel Reserve. We went up to their room, got fucked up, and they
That's
liked my
rough.
drumming. And Craig was like, all right, you're in. And then I went to my other band, Garbage Jumps band practice, and I was blackout drunk and just like played really shitty.
So, you guys have this sound that I really enjoy, and this goes with, we've talked about production already and overproduction and that kind of shit. so you have this kind of, I don't know, crummy, and that feels offensive, but I don't mean that. I felt like you guys have this raw, organic sound, and Phosphorus, you talked about tweaking the songs just a little bit before you put them out. For the most part, you guys are really, really raw.
Yeah, we recorded that shit live, man. This third demo is the first time we tracked it.
I think, to an extent.
Yeah.
And well, you said the third demo is the first time that you tracked it?
Yeah.
What was the driving force behind that? What the decision? Why did that change?
Well, I had been talking to Brandon Bowers, who runs House of Eyes. He works over at Walters, right around the corner. And he had just approached me, like, I like Thundertank. It'd be awesome to record with you guys. So we just set up a date, and we went there, and he has his method. We just recorded in Walters, and he was like, all right, drums first. We're going to do all your drums. He'll do a scratch track with you so you can follow along. And I don't know, that's just the way he wanted to do it. And we wanted to progress, you know. We don't ever want to go back and sound shittier than the last time we put out. We like want to get better. Like, all right, this is our third time doing it. Songs are a little bit more complex. We're kind of moving. The ideas are kind of getting further out there, and the sound should reflect that.
Right. Well, as Thundertank evolves and grows as a band, that makes a lot of sense. That shows you.
Well, there's no point in like releasing something that sounds like the last fucking.
Why
thing
keep
you put
doing
out,
the same fucking thing over
like,
and over and over, unless I guess you like really, really love it.
And that dude Brandon, like, you know, I think the difference that you'll hear with the new release is that it's, you know, like, I'm not saying it's overproduced, but it's like way more crisp than the last you know, recordings we put out. But it's because, you know, he actually like kind of listens to the shit. You know, the guy that we went to before, he was like really into indie music and stuff, and I mean, it sounded good and I liked it, but you know, it's like it's a different thing whenever the person that's recording you actually listens to heavier stuff, you know, like, so he knows how to work with it a little better.
Right, it makes sense. If you want to learn to play heavy metal guitar, a specific type of heavy metal guitar, you wouldn't go to like a country guitarist and go, hey man, teach me how to play guitar. That wouldn't make any fucking sense, because he's going to teach you something completely different. So you guys have this raw sound, which I think is fucking excellent. At this point in time, I've not heard any of the new recordings, so I can't comment on the difference in the audio quality, but what type of like non-heavy metal influences did you guys bring into Thundertank? Now, you said before that Thundertank is like the first metal band that you guys have undertaken in your musical careers. So do you still pull from non-heavy metal, like maybe punk or hardcore, which I don't know fucking anything about?
For sure, absolutely. I don't know, I always like my metal to have that punky, drivey influence. Like, to me, that just blending the two and it sounding good is just one of my favorite things ever.
I don't know, man. Like, well, shit. It's like when I was growing up, I was more into the punkier stuff. You know, like, hey, you know, it's like I still like Dark Throne, Burzum, early Satyricon, and stuff like that. But as far as, you know, I really liked 77 and garage punk, kind of stuff. But I just
How did that influence come about? Like, did you have someone in your life that was like, hey dude, listen to this shit?
Nah, well, my thing was, man, is I was just like, my dad listened to like Sabbath and Zeppelin and stuff, and that's where I got it.
Like
but
all good dads should.
I don't know, man. Like, one of my friends like ran across the Misfits and the Germs and would like show me that stuff, and it was a really big influence. But then I got a little older, and I just kind of got bored with how circular the music can be written. It's kind of, you know, verse chorus little thing, and it was done. And then I would start listening to like I've always listened to Slayer, you know, or like bands like that, but not really dove into it because like I really appreciate it when it's written more linear. It's not like you don't know what's gonna happen next. You know what I mean? I always thought that was cool, so it's kind of the idea, I guess.
Anything to add on that note? Phosphorus. He's got a big grin on his face.
Yeah.
He's about to hit a ball. Oh.
That's where the writing style was always really linear. So we kind of took that process and kind of rolled with that rather than just write. Because when we started, it was like a punk band.
Dude, the two bands do actually influence each other. And since we have been doing Thundertank for a couple years, there's been like super heavy riffs in Cop Warmth where that's not necessarily been an element before. And then his
So they're
style,
blending.
Yeah.
The styles are blending.
You know the.
I
deal
mean,
is
they're their own two different worlds, but definitely it's hard if you're fucking trying to play fast and super badass riffs, like for that not to influence your writing when you just go play guitar
I don't
every
know,
day.
but it comes back with like the circular writing style, but then to see Craig or King Shit.
He was just
like,
King Shit was just talking. I don't know how much that picked up at all. If you didn't hear anything, if there was some silence, I just want to let you know.
But definitely a lot of influence from that guy. He showed me a lot of things.
All right, before we move on to talk about the next song we're going to play from the new demo, do you guys have any guilty pleasure music you are willing to admit to on the fucking podcast?
Dude, fuck yeah.
There are no guilty pleasures.
You know,
There's none.
you know,
Music.
I recently listened to an episode of a podcast with Dave Grohl, and that was almost his exact statement. Like, guilty pleasure music does not exist. You like what you like, and fuck somebody if they don't like you for liking it.
Yeah.
It's always interesting because a lot of the people we talk to, or most of the people we talk to, are real hardcore metalheads, man. Like, you know what I mean?
That doesn't mean you can't be open to other music. Man.
Right.
Like,
but we've all met the militant.
Yeah.
Fuck anything that doesn't sound like A, B, and C.
And their life is fucking boring.
I used to be like when I was younger. Yeah, way fucking boring. So guilty, quote unquote, pleasure music.
Dude, man,
fellas.
I work in a kitchen that has like a lot of music being played constantly, and I've like grown to like it a lot. Like they play a lot of fucking cheesy 80s music, and I can get down on some Tears for Fears now, and like they play a lot of hip hop, a lot of Houston rap, and like I've been listening to a lot more like UGK and shit like that. And I don't know, man. I like fucking Supertramp and David Bowie and a bunch of lame shit. Fleetwood Mac fucking rules.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
definitely. In 10 years
good
ago,
music
I would
is
be
just
like,
good music, man, for real.
what's wrong with you? But yes, you're definitely right about that.
Man, but you know, you go to appreciate it, like, cause I like, you know, the precursors to whatever fucking kind of music, like, dude, people didn't go from like, you know, the softest shit to the hardest shit. Like there was a progression, and I mean, you don't have to like it, but you really, I mean, you gotta acknowledge it, respect it a little bit, you know, to see how it progressively got harder.
Right, you have to. I've always been really big on like knowing your roots and like where you came from and the music that influenced the music that you love. Because quick overview, since I don't really know you guys very much. Like my upbringing was Black Sabbath, Metallica. Then about 13 or 14 years old, my older brother brought the first Demons and Wizards album, which is a project from the lead singer of Blind Guardian, German power metal, and then the guitar player and leader of a band called Iced Earth. I think they're from Florida or Indiana. And they're like American power metal, which there's a fairly large distinction between European and American power metal.
For sure.
And I was like playing EverQuest on the computer, and I listened to this record, and it blew my mind open. Like, I was like, holy shit, like, Metallica and Black Sabbath aren't the only heavy music.
Yeah,
you know, they
that's
don't
a good
exist.
starting point,
and,
man.
And fucking like John Schaefer
that's
of
how I
Iced
got
Earth
music.
talks about liking like Uriah Heep and Cream, and I fucking love Uriah Heep, which is
I
Demons
love
and
Cream,
Wizards. They took that name from that Uriah Heep album. So I'm real big on knowing where your roots are from and what your people like, because you'd be surprised the most hardcorest metal motherfuckers listen to some of the shittiest quote unquote music. It's not really shitty, but it's not metal. And if it's not metal, it sucks, but that's not true.
Man, we're all just fucking into rock and roll, man. We all like oldies, 50s stuff. We like 60s psychedelic shit. Like, you know, we just love rock and roll. We are fucking 60s. Students of rock and roll. That's what we want to do.
Fucking 60s lowrider, doo-wop. We're all into that shit. Like, fucking Ronettes, the Crystals, Everly Brothers.
the last rock
just
show I was at was the
rock and
Everly
roll,
Brothers.
Yeah. I'm a sucker for 60s psychedelic, man. I fucking love the Doors and Jimi Hendrix and fucking, you know, all that shit.
My older brother introduced me to Jimi Hendrix, and I'll never... man, I don't know the song title because I don't regularly listen to Jimi Hendrix. Was like he's talking about like Castles in the Sand. I think is maybe
Castles Made of Sand.
Yeah, Castles Made of Sand. Dude, I'll never forget the first time I heard
Access
that
Bullet of
fucking
Love
song.
is an amazing record, man.
Well,
I've been jamming that a lot recently, actually.
My
like
brother's a
Oh,
musician.
you got the tape, Rick?
I have Electric Ladyland on cassette. I was listening to that yesterday, but yeah, the first 3 Experience albums are fucking phenomenal.
I'm gonna have to go pick those up.
You can't go wrong, man. Like, it's great.
Yeah, my brother introduced me to most of the music I listen to, and like he's a musician, he plays guitar, and he loves Frank Zappa. And if you're like a normal person, like if you are listening to this and you don't know who Frank Zappa is, I don't know how to help you. Like I don't. I'm not a huge Zappa fan. I have a couple of records, and it's just I can't get into it. I don't know what it is. There's something.
No. He's you know the thing about Frank Zappa is I'm not really into his music, but I've with King Shit, we were hanging out at this fucking apartment complex, and we were watching these interviews and stuff, and the guy had a fucking brain in his skull, man. He was really,
He was a fucking musician, a fucking composer. He was pretty fucking great as far as being not being a huge fan, but like back to what we talked about, knowing what he had done for music and his genius. And like, have you ever listened to him talk about like modern music? And by modern music, you have to think he died in like 1992, 3 or 4, way early 90s. If you've never heard him talk about modern music and how much it fucking sucks, go on YouTube and look up some of his older his last interviews before he passed away. You'll be like, this is fucking great. But we could go on a tangent about Frank Zappa all day long, and I try not to because I always fucking end up talking about Frank Zappa. But it's hard to talk about rock and roll and music in general and not bring up one of the biggest players in the early game. So the next song we're going to play from the new demo is called Cemetery Lust, which is a great fucking name. Tell me a little bit about that song before we play it.
I don't know. I came up with that idea. I just
okay,
the title.
Yeah,
sorry, guys. We just keep interrupting each other.
Yeah, sorry. But anyway, he was like, he said, Cemetery Lust, and he liked that, and he wanted to use that title for his song. I was just reading like random shit on the internet, and there's just this guy from early 1900s, and I think his name's William Cotard. But it might not be William, but his name's Cotard, right? He was a doctor, and they came out with a Cotard syndrome or Cotard delusions, and it's he was the first person. Like, these people had this thing where they thought they were dead, and they were convinced that they were dead. So like, people would die from sickness because they wouldn't feed themselves because they thought they were ghosts.
Wow.
And stuff like that. And I thought that was Yeah, it was like they thought they had died, like, and it would be traumatic things, car wrecks or something like that. And he started studying all these people. Something would happen to them, and they would be there, and they would be convinced that nobody could see them. They didn't have to feed themselves because they were ghosts, and they would die from sickness. But so like, I tried to tie that into maybe somebody's wandering around a graveyard, like, waiting to go to the other side, but they don't know that they're alive. They really believe that they're dead, and that's the concept of the song.
Yeah, that sounds fucking great. I don't know if you can hear it, but there's just some really shitty music playing.
Always, dude.
And it's like, I'm trying to listen, but I hear this like, it's like, what is fucking going on? Jeez. How did we get to this? Weren't we just listening to dance music?
Man, then they'll put on like sexy fucking smooth jazz, and then it's southern metal, and then some fucking Madonna song.
So here it is. God. This one is Cemetery Lust. right, we're back to recording. Welcome if you're just tuning in to the Texas Metal Show. We are talking to the doo-wop group
Hell yeah.
Thundertank. Hail Satan. What was y'all's first gig like?
What was the first gig we played? It was at Mango's, I know.
Oh, I miss Mango's. I loved
Me
that tiny
too, man.
place. I really did.
I know we wore
Except for the
corpse paint
bathrooms.
for our first show, and everyone thought that was pretty cool and or funny, horrifying.
Why did you not continue the...
It just became a pain in the ass, man. And then you got to
It's
walk
gotta-
around with it and act normal and go order a beer, and everyone's like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? Like, you know, maybe
is
if we...
this a joke?
Yeah, I don't know. It was cool and it was fun, but like, we still try to keep up that imagery just without fucking face paint, because it really is just a pain in the ass. But we all try to get like leather and gauntlets and spikes and keep it old school.
Which is awesome, because
Yeah.
that is way of like looking at old pictures of Venom, and they're wearing like the black spandex onesies.
Fuck yeah,
And
dude.
they have like the fucking metal, the fucking gun belt.
I wish
and, like,
I
the
had tight
fuck-off
leather pants, man.
And the big ass glasses, and you're like, Jesus Christ, really? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Seriously, some of those early Venom photos, you're like, whoa.
Dude, you'll see on the back of the shirt, like, we have the cheesiest fucking band photo ever. It's
Oh,
hilarious.
dude, I can't wait. I haven't seen it yet. I can't fucking wait.
should check it
Because
out.
Venom was, like I said, I don't know if we recorded this, but like I got into Venom accidentally. Like I was like, oh, at War with Satan, that sounds neat. $10. And that same day I bought Black Label Society, Stronger Than Death, and I was like, holy shit, Venom's fucking awesome. You know, I just,
Yeah.
I thought that it looked cool and it was satanic. And growing
Turns
up in
out
a
it sounded
Christian
cool,
home,
too. Yeah.
satanic shit spoke to me.
Dude, I
And-
was the same way, man.
Yeah, well,
I
you have to be
always,
because
like-
God sucks.
Yeah. It really does. It all sucks ass. Yeah, man, I was always the same way. I was like, oh, this sounds so evil. Like, why do I like it so much? Like,
Well,
I don't know.
for me, the turning point was probably 7th grade. And in 7th
it
grade,
was around that time.
the Garage Incorporated double disc album, Metallica, came out.
all
And
the
they,
punk covers and shit.
right, and they had the Merciful Fate medley.
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
A Corpse Without Soul. I don't know if that's actually what the song's called. And like,
Yeah,
Come to
that's-
the, not Come to the Sabbath, but it's like, doom doom da doom da doom doom da doom da doom. God, fuck, I can't think of the fucking song name, but I can think of the main riff in my head. There's not Lucifer's Fall. That's fucking also.
Merciful Fate, yeah. Or Satan's
God
Fall or
damn it. Anyway. All that they did the Merciful Fate medley, and it's like
Yeah.
4 or 5 Merciful Fate songs, and they're all overly satanic. And I can remember like going to like business like lunches, like oh, my dad's company's doing this thing at a park and everyone's gonna go and have a barbecue, so we're all gonna go show up because, you know, we're fucking white collar corporate America bullshit. And like I would have my headphones and just go hang out by myself and listen to the Merciful Fate medley over
yeah.
and over again, because he's like
I'll have
talking
to check
about
that out. I
fucking
don't know if I've ever
corpses. Oh,
listened
it's
to it.
dude, it's good.
I've heard some of the songs on there, but I've never owned that album
think
like
it's-
in its entirety.
That specific medley starts off with like Curse of the Pharaohs, and then goes into Satan's Fall, and then I can't remember
the beginning of Melissa shit.
Yeah, and it's just and to me, for me, it was like, holy fuck, like they're talking about the devil, and that was unknown.
Yeah.
man, because you didn't. You know, we went to church 3 times a week, and we prayed and did Bible study.
One sucks enough, man.
Well, fuck yeah, dude. It's like Wednesday, and you get out of school, and you got to go sit in a church with people you hate, and you're like, this is fucking lame. Oddly enough, though, my older brother learned about those bands that would influence my love of metal through another dude at the same church.
No shit.
So
That's
the
fucking
satanic
funny.
influences,
Yeah.
if you're listening to this, and you're thinking you love Jesus and
Can
you're about
find
to
him in-
make the switch, there is someone in your church that
listens to
loves
cool music.
mayhem. Because I was like 12 years old.
That was me, man.
Oh, maybe not 12. 14, I got my first girlfriend. And her older sister loved mayhem, Dark Throne, Sepultura, Cannibal Corpse. And she gave me all these old shirts.
Badass.
Now, I'm like 13, 14 years old. Metallica is still it. We haven't really made the switch into other heavy metal.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to church wearing like mayhem shirts with the, you know, the mayhem M's. They have big upside down
Yeah,
crosses.
I had
and
to
shit.
hide that shit from my mom. I had one of those
My mom
shirts.
always threw that shit away.
Dude, I found it in the trash
bitch.
one day. I'm not even kidding.
Mom,
I
if
put
you're
it back in
listening
my
to this,
dresser.
I always hated you for that. I had an old copy of the Satanic Bible she found
Yeah.
one night, and I used to hide it. This one time, I just put it in the drawer and didn't think about it. And the next day, I came home from school or whatever, I don't know, and there was a note.
Oh,
and it was
fuck
like,
that.
John, I found your copy of the Satanic Bible, and I took it out back and I burned it. And I can remember my instant thought was, well, that's very Christian of you.
I was
like
just
burning,
about to say that.
burning the book. And you know what? When I see my mom next,
How
I'm going to ask
tolerant.
her about that. Yeah, right.
Very
How fucking
American.
well, you grow up, and they grew up in a very Christian home, and my grandmother is still
They think you have demons in you and shit.
Yeah. So that was real taboo. And like sex too. Like sex was bad. Sex is not bad. If you're listening to this and you're not having sex, you are doing something wrong.
I don't know how they do it, man. Seriously.
We got to wrap it up. Which I hate. I wish we could talk for another hour. You guys have been around for a couple of years, established. You guys play shows. You have a couple of demos out, which I love. Big fan. Really love you guys' work. And I don't love everything we talk about on this show. Great fucking demos.
Thank you.
What is the craziest thing that has ever happened to you guys at a show?
Fuck. I don't know.
Fuck.
Nothing automatically stands out, huh?
Fuck. I don't know.
There's been some crazy fucking Rusted Shut shows. A couple of the Copworm shows I went to before I was in the band were like fucking insane. Like I got clocked in the nose and started bleeding, and someone broke a bunch of shit and stole a fire extinguisher.
I think one of the things
and
is like it's not like it was the craziest thing, just kind of like a funny thing that happened, but
maybe the most memorable.
But we played at White Swan, and I was hanging out with my buddy Beto. He plays in a band Ali Mañas, like Mexican like hardcore punk, but based out of Houston. And we were in the back and we were smoking a joint, and this fucking this little old Hispanic dude's walking up, and he's got a bag in his hand, dude. And this Jeep Grand Cherokee comes from behind and clips him, and he does a somersault, dude, from behind, flips forward and lands on his chest. Okay, and we saw that and we were like, holy shit, like what do we do? Do we because when they say people get hit like that, you're not supposed to like pick them up.
Leave them.
But what do we do?
Because I don't want to pick them up. Like, dude, hey, are you all right?
And the thing is that fucking went up there and we were like, hey, are you okay? Try to help him out or whatever. And then the guy gets out of the car and he walks up and he puts his foot on the guy's forehead and pushes just a little bit. He's like, hey, get up, bitch. and me and my buddy Beto were like, what? And we were like, hey man, maybe you shouldn't do that. He's like, nah, chill. This ain't the first time this happened. And he fucking picks him up. He picks him up. It's like two 50-something-year-old Hispanic guys, White Swan. Picks him up, throws his arm over his shoulder, takes him up the stairs. And turns out that they've been roommates for like years and years, and they've known each other since they were kids, and everything was cool. But it was just crazy.
But every now and then, one of them hits the other one with their car.
Yeah. But
I would say that's pretty fucking crazy.
I got a kick out of it. He's like, hey, this ain't the first time this happened. It's like, damn, maybe you should pay attention.
Yeah, like maybe you shouldn't be driving a vehicle. Like, just give it up.
I mean, I don't know. There's a bunch of crazy shit that happens at shows, but I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of shows that get pretty wild. So
that's a good way to do it. We'll be the Texas Metal Show. Will be at one of them at some point. I promise you. So, what's the future hold for Thundertank? Where do you guys go from here?
Well, after we release this third demo, as I told you earlier, we are planning on putting all three on a CD, so it's a little more accessible because, not everyone's a total fucking metalhead nerd with a cassette player.
Yeah, if you don't have a cassette player and you like metal, you don't really like metal.
Yeah, seriously, man, come on. But yeah, the plan is to get a CD and hopefully vinyl, man, because we're definitely fucking fans of the analog. Like, none of us really, I don't go out and buy a shitload of CDs. Like, if I see a cool CD, I'll get it, but I don't give a shit about my CD collection.
Yeah, who cares?
Like, I like my tape collection.
I agree with you 100%.
I like my fucking record collection. But, I guess it is a money thing. Vinyl's a little bit more expensive, but we're trying to get there. That's the goal. We want a 7-inch out at fucking least, man. But, like I said, we already have 6 or 7 songs ready to go after this comes out. So there will be number 4 shortly behind it. And that might be an EP. Who knows? We might put it out as a CD. I don't know if we'll do another demo cassette.
Yeah, it's like more like a money thing.
I talked to Jason from Witch Crier. They're from San Antonio. I didn't expect you guys to know them. And they were like our 4th show. They play this more like new wave of British heavy metal style doom.
Yeah.
And with a female lead named Susie who have you guys ever heard of Hog Bitch?
No, that's
Okay, that was her
awesome
first
name.
band.
Fucking name.
But like, dude, she kills it. Beautiful
bitch.
voice, dude. When she does her cover of Witchfinder General,
Fuck
Cool.
oh, blown
Badass.
away. And I asked
That's
him.
sick.
I recently saw him for the first time in 6 months. Last Saturday, we went to their show, and he was like, I was like, hey, how's that new demo? You guys had talked about putting a new demo, and he was like, nah. He said, we just said, fuck the new demo. We're not gonna do it. We're just gonna make an album. He said, what the fuck is the point of doing a demo? He's like, we're not sending it off to anyone.
Yeah.
So he's like, we're just gonna fucking flat out record an album. And so I wonder, is that a shared mentality between people? Like, did you guys specifically put out? There are 3 songs, right? Each demo's been about 3. No, fuck no, because
It's
Heaven is
actually
for
been
Pussies
getting
is like
more.
6.
I think
I think the
Unholy
the
was
first
6,
one-
and then 8, and this one's
yeah, it's like the first one's 5, second one's 6, and this will be 8.
yeah.
So you guys have been putting out EPs, really?
Yeah, but
We call
but-
them
but-
demos,
But
but-
we put them on tape and call them a demo because it's cheaper.
Oh, that's the distinction. That's a little bit cheaper.
Yeah, I mean, between the 4 of us, is super manageable. I think just getting the cassettes is $250, but we gotta pay the dude to record, mix, and blah blah blah, whatever. But
fucking
between the
artwork and
4
all
of
that
us,
other
we
shit.
can manage it. And I mean, obviously, that's the goal, man. We would love to do a full length album, but
Well, if you make one, I
Yeah.
guarantee I will at least buy one copy. You'll have one dude that buys a copy. Anything else you guys would like to say to the audience who may or may not be listening to you?
Just keep your eyes and ears open for Let's Thrash in the Darkness of Hell, Thundertank number 3, Sever the Head That Does Not Bang, and all you guys can go to hell because heaven is for pussies.
Thanks a lot, guys. Great talking to you.
absolutely.
I hope you all enjoyed that episode. I had a lot of fun. I was a bit nervous about talking to these guys. When I talk to a band who I don't know personally, I always get a little nervous walking in. But we had a great fucking time. Those are some great dudes. Make sure you go check them out. Follow them on social media. Got a couple of plugs for you before the show ends. Got Independent Music Festival, October 22nd in Old Town Spring. Psychedelic Rock Fest with some great local metal and some great local talent of various genres. Make sure you get your tickets. They're still on sale. It's right around the corner, so don't waste time. Also, Fall Metal Festival at BFE Rock Club, November 19th. Great fucking lineup. We're going to be there. Come on out. If you're in Houston, check out Deep End Records. They've got a pretty good selection of local music and music of all types in general. I think they have some fucking tapes, and it's a pretty cool fucking place. Make sure you check it out. I've got a couple of really good local records there. Remember, check the show notes. You need a link, you want to find out about something we talk about, show notes fucking exist. As always, if you want to be on the Texas Metal Show, or you want us to play your music on Texas Metal Radio, or you just want to tell us how much we fucking suck, send us an email at texasmetalshow@gmail.com. Texas Metal Radio 6, Hell Crusher, Phosphorus, Kids, new equipment, episode, enjoy! How's that? I gonna like that? I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself.